Welcome to Sunny Sanctuary. I am having a not so good day, and it's a challenging day, and I'm actually pretty angry. Instead of coming on and acting like everything is fine, I'd rather be human and we work through a practice that helps us reconnect. I'd rather show you a practice in real time as a real person that's having real emotions, that's going to allow our body to connect with the breath to regain balance. Because even as I'm talking, I'm not having an asthma attack, I'm not having a panic attack. It is because I'm angry. So let's come down to Vrksasana, Thunderbolt. Problems with the knees, please roll your mat. If this pose is not accessible to you, kneeling in this way, please sit crisscross or sit on a block. We'll do what is best and comfortable for you, especially right now. We're gonna face the front, just let our shoulders come down, hands up, and let's take 3 deep breaths. Like us to practice the yogi breath. The yogi breath is when you inhale and it sounds kind of ocean-like. That's the only way I can describe it. Your chest will go up and down. This will help us be able to calm ourselves when we're in a position of being angry or having anxiety. Moving into a Vrksasana variation, gently with your drishti looking down, start to, with your head only, go all the way back. Allow your drishti to go towards the ceiling. Go ahead and keep your shoulders down. Don't force them down. Keep your hands open on top of your thighs as you continue to let your head slowly drop back. In this posture, you want to make sure you're not leaning forward or backward. So you're sitting upright, even if you're on a block or crisscross. Make sure you're sitting up. I'm gonna go back to leaning my head back. Deep inhales and exhales, in and out of our nose. Slowly start to bring your head back up. Use your drishti to help you. You want your head to come parallel to your thighs, but not move so fast that you hurt your neck. Move back on the mat a little bit. If you're crisscross, Adho Mukha Vrksasana, which is downward facing hero pose. So I stay in this position if I'm already here, and I go straight down to the floor, just like I just did. Just go straight down like that. If you need a block, you put the block right in front of you. If you're sitting in this pose, and again, you go straight down, but let your forehead rest. Move it up a little bit, move it down a little bit. Let your forehead rest on the block, and go ahead and let yourself fall into the posture, the asana. If you're sitting crisscross, regular crisscross applesauce, you can still do this posture by going forward and coming down on a block if necessary. The goal would be to make sure it's coming
the block is coming towards you, so your bottom half stays anchored and grounded, and you would breathe. Those nice deep inhales and exhales. We're reconnecting our breath. No matter which posture, no matter which variation of the asana you're in, I'd like you to slowly walk yourself up with your neck and head coming last. Once again, I'm gonna go back into the kneeling position. The kneeling position, I'm going to do a variation of Balasana. You're gonna slowly bring your head down to meet the mat. Bring your hands together behind your back and interlace them. Slowly start to bring them up toward your head as comfortable as you feel. If you can only bring your hands together, that's perfectly fine. If you can only get the tips to touch, that's perfectly fine. Those of us who could go up a little higher, go as high as you feel comfortable. Make sure you're opening across your chest, your décolletage. Keep that deep inhale and exhale going. For those who need variation, I'm gonna bring my good old block. I'm sitting in cross leg. I'm going to bring the block down as far as I can go. You can put it on the top part if you need to, side part if you need to, depending on where you're at today. Just make sure your bottom half is nice and relaxed, your core is engaged, your back, your bottom is dropped a little bit. Everybody else keep breathing. Go ahead and interlace your hands, and we're gonna bring everything together. Slowly bring your head down to meet the block and bring your arms up. Try your best to open your shoulders, and the way you would in this asana is that it would feel like your shoulders are really coming together to touch in the back. For those who can go a little bit lower, you're gonna slowly, same thing, go ahead and interlace your hands, pull down a little bit, slowly start to roll yourself down and bring your arms up. Try to bring your shoulder blades together to open across your chest. Last breath for everyone after showing the modifications. We're in our position. Slowly start to roll yourself up. Let your hands stay bound together. Drop your shoulders. Slowly let the interlace of your hands go. Neck and head come last. If able, please come up on your knees. You can roll the mat hip distance apart. This is Ustrasana variation, similar to camel. Want your toes, you gotta make sure you get all your toes down. So back into your toes just a little bit. Bring your hips forward, and you're going to anchor down on your bottom half. Your bottom half is not gonna move. We're gonna take the palms of our hands, put them towards our hips, and just gently guide them forward, just gently. Find your drishti and slowly but surely start to bring it up and back. Keep breathing, shoulders down. And I can't really touch my feet, I never have been able to, so slowly reach for your feet. So it should be more rounded, but this is about as far as I can go. Other people may be able to push their hips further forward. I'm not that person, so I just lean towards backwards. I open my chest. Keep breathing those deep, hollowing breaths in and out your nose. Last time. Bring your drishti back up as you let go and bring your hands to your side. Make sure you lower your shoulders. Let your feet go one at a time. Slowly come back down to hero to kneeling pose. Whether you are crisscross or kneeling, once you go ahead and come up, bring your right foot forward, Virikasana. Right foot forward. We're gonna stay at a 90-degree angle. You can move your hips just a little bit. Don't jiggle around too much. That does not feel good. Just make sure your hips are staying level. You can see your toes in the front. Your back toes are down. Raise both hands up. Keep your right hand up, and your left hand is gonna come to the outside of your right knee. Stay even and breathe those deep hollow breaths. We're staying straight upright. For those who are in variation, everyone else stay in position. If you're sitting crisscross, you're going to raise your arms up the same way. Make sure your shoulders stay down. It's very easy to dump into the middle of your back, so make sure that stays, your pelvic bone stays tucked in. You're gonna do the same thing with both hands raised up. Bring the left hand right outside of your left knee and just keep your bottom half anchored. Everyone breathe. 2 more breaths. Okay, we're gonna go to the other side. I'm gonna go up back into my kneeling, and I'm gonna switch. Bring my left leg forward, right toes flat to the ground. I'm 90 degrees. I'm making sure I'm not dumping into my hips, but everything is level. I feel nice and comfortable. Bring both your arms up. This time, your left hand will stay in the air and your right hand will come across. Make sure not to pull your knee towards you. You want your knee to stay in place, and breathe. Stay straight up. Your hand is active, meaning that you feel like you're reaching for the ceiling. Everybody stay in that posture. For those who are in the other in the modification, please switch what foot was in front. So my right foot was in front. I switched to my left foot being in front. You're gonna do the same thing by raising your arms up, taking your right hand, bringing it across. Make sure you're not turning. Let your arm and hand do the work. Drop the shoulder down. Left hand stays up. Feels like you're reaching for the ceiling. And breathe. Everyone stay in position. Those in this modification, there's a habit for your legs to go up. Make sure that they are gently guided back down. Breathe. To come out of the posture, come back around, face the front. From here, we're going to move into a Virishasana variation. Bring your hands back around and down. Come down to Virishasana, which is tabletop pose. I am towards the front of my mat. I'm going to make sure my feet are gently flat against the mat if possible. If not, you can always tuck under if that is more comfortable for you. My hands underneath my shoulders. I'm going to anchor down on my left foot, but I'm also going to make sure that my yogi hands and my palms are into the mat, I'm going to lift up my right foot and kick it straight back. Toes flex towards my face, my hips are level. Breathe. Lower, less intense. Higher, more intense. Please do not go higher than your hip. Keep the hollow breath going. And bring your right knee in to meet your left. Anchor down on your right foot. And your hands are still active into the mat. Bring your left foot up. Kick back. Flex your toes towards your face. Make sure your hips are even. Lowering down, less intensive. Going hip distance up, more intensive. Please do not, again, go past your hip. Flex your toes. Keep breathing. Slowly but surely bring in your left foot to meet your right. Well, in this pose, we're going to move back a little bit and go into tabletop Bahamanasana, going into Adho Mukha Savasana, downward dog on the floor. Please scoot yourself back to the end of your mat. Bring your hands forward to the corners of your mat and bring your head going towards the floor. Don't dump into the pose. Be mindful of your back. Drop your bottom. Tuck your core and breathe. Every time you breathe in, come up a little bit. And when you breathe out, come down. So it's kind of look like you're in motion. If this is not comfortable for you, please stay in the stagnant position. You can tuck your toes under if that is more comfortable. If you need a block, please bring a block and put your head down on the block. This is modified. Keep breathing. One last breath. Inhale. As I exhale, I'm going to remove the block. Walk yourself up to standing. I'm gonna roll over my feet and walk myself up to standing. Join me in standing in Utkatasana. Feet hip distance apart. It's chair pose, but we're going to interlace our hands and push out. Tuck your tailbone. Sitting down into that chair and breathe. Gently, be very gentle with lowering your shoulders. Breathe. Slowly bring yourself up to Utkatasana. Float your hands down, mountain pose. Feet hip distance apart. Step to the top of your mat. Ascha, Shu, and Drasana. It's a lunge with a shoulder opener. So we're going to take our right leg, we're going to step back. Now the further your distance, the more intense. The closer your distance, less intense. We're going to be on our toes, back leg is straight, front leg 90 degrees, hips facing the front. Interlock your hands. Slowly bring your drishti up and allow your shoulders to fall open. Hands moving away from your body. Breathe. Everybody will not be able to go far in their drishti. That is fine as long as you're practicing the drishti. Helps you focus. 2 more breaths here. because we have the other side to do. Slowly let the bind go as you bring your drishti back down. Neck and head come last. Step your right foot up to meet your left. Immediately do the same thing on the other side. Step your left foot back. Try to be about as even. Yes, I used the wall. Trying to be as even as possible as you were on the other side, same distance. Bring your hands together. If your left thumb was on top, move it to the bottom. Slowly as you open your shoulders by dropping your hands, bring your drishti up and breathe. Hands start to move away from your body. Your drishti will help you stay focused. The deep, hollow breaths, the yogi breath, will help you reconnect. And that's what we're going for. Release your hands. Slowly start to bring your drishti back down. Head and neck come last. Step your left foot to meet your right at the top of the mat. We're to come down into Malasana, yogi squat. Everyone's may look a little different. So traditional yogi squat, you're able to slowly but surely come down. Your bottom drops to the ground. Your feet are down. Your elbows are right before you hit your knee joint. And you breathe. I'm gonna come up. Some people's may look more like this because they need to be on their toes. That's okay. Keep breathing. You can also use one yogi block. You don't always have to use two. You can sit on the yogi block. Bring your feet open. This is a great release of stress. It's a nice hip opener. You can bring your feet out. Your elbows will come right there at the same place around right before your knee. Anjali Mudra. Shoulders gently down and breathe. You're welcome to close your eyes or bring your drishti right down. Slowly breathe in and out through your nose. 2 more breaths. And with that, I would like you to bring your toes towards the front, and you can either pick yourself up like this, use your hands and guide yourself up. Either way, come stand with me. Either way. Stand with me as we go into, do at least one sun salutation, Surya Namaskar variation. Stand towards the back of your mat. Arms come up, be kind to your shoulders. Extend by coming forward, slight bend in the knees, be nice to your knees. Come down to the floor. Go as far down as you could go. You can hang down, you can actually touch the ground, you can tense your fingers, but come down towards your toes. Take a breath. We're gonna walk it out to plank, just like this, and bring my feet back. Arms are under shoulders. I'm on my tippy toes. I'm gonna bring myself forward, down into chaturanga, which is a halfway down push-up. I'm gonna flip my feet on top and come up into upward facing dog. Breathe. Bring myself back in to downward facing dog. This is our only downward facing dog. You can bring your legs a little bit further than hip distance. Be on your toes if you want. If you're on your toes, bring your upper body towards your lower body. Your lower body will stay steady. For those in the traditional posture, Make sure that you are going in and you're piking your hips. I'm going to go for the modified version today. Everybody breathe. Last breath. Slowly but surely, if able, come down to your knees and come around to your bottom. Move yourself towards the front of your mat. Hands up, you know the deal. Slowly but surely, tuck your bottom in. Come down one vertebrae at a time. Then we're going to roll over onto our tummies to do Vishan Adra Vishkasana, which is half frog. Roll onto your tummy any way that you feel fit today getting there. I want you to put your right arm on top of your left. Your hands are reaching your elbow. Bring your left leg up, 90-degree angle, just let your foot fall open. Bring your head down to your forearms and just sink into the pose. You want to bring your hip out, your knee out further for more intensity as you come down. For less intensity, move back in. Breathe. Slowly raise your head up. Slide your left foot in. Lift up some so you can switch your arm position. Your right arm goes underneath. Your left hand comes up. You're going to slide your right hip 90 degrees. If possible, if not, bring it in some as you did the other side. Slowly roll yourself down. Forehead comes to your arms and breathe. Let yourself just kind of sink into this position. This is a new one. We're letting go of tension and stress, and that's what I needed today. One more breath in and out. Slowly bring your head up as you slide your right foot in. Roll yourself over into fetal pose for one moment. Bring yourself up to a nice, comfortable seated position. Whatever that may look like for you today. We're going to take 2 lion's breaths before we end. Hands gently on top of the knees. Breathe in and breathe out. Tongue comes down. One more time. Breathe in and breathe out. Bring yourself up. I feel less stressed. Thank you for joining me today in Sunny's Sanctuary. I hope this practice reaches those who need it. And with that, namaste.